For most people, 2016 has been a dreadful year. From the massacre in Orlando to the terrorist attacks in Europe and the tragic death of our Lord and Savior Harambe, 2016 has been taxing on us all. But man, has it been an amazing year for wrestling.
These last 365 days have showcased some of the best characters, matches, and storylines we've seen in years. While not perfect, more and more talents have stepped up to the plate to bring us the absolute pinnacle of in-ring action.
And with that said, it's time to ring in the new year of 2017 by reflecting on the awesomeness that preceded it. It's time for the Haymakers Best and Worst of 2016. At least the Smackdown cast edition.
Yeah, the Raw cast is going to have their own version since they decided to go off and do their own thing.
And it will not be as good.
No, it will not.
I think we'll have some of our stuff. So you already know a few of us. You know me. I, of course, am your host, Toonkritic. We have, of course, Calkos.
Yeah, hello, it is me. And, of course, we have Nickyv.
It is I, the Frenchiest fry.
The Frenchie? What?
I'd never heard that before.
I saw it on Tumblr once.
Okay, all right.
So
I don't even know where that came from. It just popped into my head like the second I started talking.
We've got a lot of things to cover, so let's not waste any time. How about we have Nikki kick us off with the first category?
All righty. Let's start off with the best gimmicks. The best gimmicks that have just captivated us, that have just really, really got us invested in characters that we would otherwise have no interest in, or lesser interest. But here are our honorable mentions for best gimmick. Matanza Cueto, Unstoppable Force. Chris Jericho with the List of Jericho. Kenny Omega, the cleaner/leader of the Bullet Club. James Ellsworth, Jobber to the Stars. Joey Ryan, sleaziest wrestler alive. AJ Styles, the face that runs the place. And Heath Slater, free agent. And your winner of Best Gimmick of 2016 is Broken Matt Hardy, delusional psychopath. We get to talk about Broken Matt Hardy again!
Who the fuck would have thought?
Okay, so Stone Cold Steve Austin, on one of his most recent podcasts, basically was talking about how much he freaking loves the broken stuff, and like how a guy who, for the large part of his career, has just been a mid-level guy. Like, but back when Matt Hardy was in WWE, he was never really known for being all that charismatic. He was the lesser of the Hardys. Like, he wasn't all that interesting. He goes to TNA, and not like he starts with the big money Matt stuff, which was great on its own, but then, oh man, things got weird. Okay, do you guys remember how this whole thing started?
I remember with Broken Matt Hardy, he got into an accident or something. He hurt his head, if I remember correctly.
From what I recall, he and Jeff had a last man standing match, it was an I Quit match. And Jeff did a huge dive off of something. I think he did a big swanton bomb.
When doesn't he?
Do what?
When doesn't he do like a swanton bomb off something big?
I think that's how he wakes up in the morning. So right. he hits a big swanton bomb. They both are carried out of the building. And from that point on, Matt Hardy becomes broken. And then they have the final deletion, which is a battle for the rights to the Hardy brand. And after that, Jeff basically becomes enslaved to Matt, and then they become friendly, and just one thing after another.
This gimmick really should not have worked. This is the gimmick of the year that should not have worked. But not only has it worked, it has just been sublime all the way through. It just gets better and better and weirder and weirder. Everything Matt touches gets over, okay? Mm-hmm. His brother got over because of this. He was able to get his gardener, Senior Benjamin, over. He was able to get a drone over. He got a giraffe over.
He got his son over.
He got his wife over.
Not only that, he got his son a pinfall victory.
And it's all because of the gimmick. It's because of the creativity on display. Matt has always been said to have a lot of potential, and now we're finally seeing it. So many years after he bust out onto the scene with his brother as the Hardy Boys, man, we're finally seeing it. 15 years too late, but we're finally fucking seeing it.
Props to TNA. We can't give TNA credit, a lot of credit for a lot of things, but they've let Matt Hardy have carte blanche on this whole thing. They've just let him do whatever he wants with this, and like the creativity is just oozing out of him. It is
he gets
so
creative
good.
control over it, basically. The great thing about Matt Hardy, though, is that he did have some good gimmicks. Like when he was solo, he had Mattitude, he had his feud with Edge, he had his feud with MVP, but it never clicked. Here, he has clicked and has been more over than he has ever been in any of his feuds or anything on his own. I think this is finally the gimmick that has helped him step out on his own.
By the way, has anybody seen Tag Team Apocalypto yet?
That was with what was it?
That was during Total Nonstop Deletion.
I think I did, yeah.
Even the man with 3 H's would be proud of the way we have buried this young up-and-coming team.
Too meta for me.
You can't see it right now, but I'm doing a thumbs up to the camera.
Can you imagine, though, if Broken Matt Hardy shows up during the Royal Rumble?
Wow, okay. Well, given that he signed with Ring of Honor, that wouldn't happen. But you know what? He's probably going to stay with this gimmick for a very long time. No question about this. With the creativity, with the wonderful plot lines, and just with the fucking gut-busting laughter that I've had over the last 6 months, Matt Hardy with Delusional Psychopath Broken Matt Hardy wins Best Gimmick of 2016. Man, it feels good to say 2016. I've been looking forward to this for a long time.
Mm-hmm. So I guess I'm taking over the next one. So we, of course, have the best gimmick, but what was the worst gimmick of 2016? There's been some really stupid decisions this year, but of course we can only pick one for worst gimmick, and here are your honorable mentions. There are none. We literally could only pick one. Kurt Hawkins for the Chuck Norris facts. It's time to face the facts. Good fucking God, I hated this. I hate this on the fact that Kurt Hawkins has tried. He is honestly tried. But now that he has set up all the promos for this, it was unbelievable to begin with. No one cared. They were getting more and more annoyed with it. And we thought, oh, well, maybe when he starts wrestling. Oh, yeah, he did wrestle. But that's all we can really say about it. He has done absolutely nothing with what he has been given. Eva fucking Marie has done more with her gimmick than Kurt Hawkins. That is really fucking sad. Kurt Hawkins is the bottom of the barrel. No. He is the underside of the bottom of the barrel. He is on the fucking shadow of the barrel. That's how bad this is. Kurt Hawkins, it's time to face the facts. You fucking suck.
Okay, I think we're ending it here, okay? Kurt Hawkins wins worst gimmick of 2016. We can't beat that. Come on.
I gotta face the facts. He kind of got that one.
All right, you know what? That was very quick. There weren't a lot of bad gimmicks this year. Maybe Shining Stars, maybe Hype Brothers, but Kurt Hawkins was so bad that it's in a league of its own. So, once again, Kurt Hawkins wins worst gimmick.
To be fair, and to be honest, like, I like the Hype Bros a whole lot, and I'm starting to turn around on the Shining Stars. Am I alone on this one? I think I might be alone on this one.
All right, moving on.
Let's go. So, Calkos, you're up next.
I am up next. So, one thing that a wrestler needs to do other than wrestle to be really, really popular is give good promos. And this was key on WCW and WWE during the Attitude Era. Many wrestlers were able to rise above the ranks just on the art of promos. But of course, we also have to acknowledge the wonderful video editors at places like NJPW and WWE on their wonderful video editing. So, the next category is combined Most Outstanding Promo / Video Package. Enzo Amore bashes the club and gives life pro tips on Battleground. Dean Ambrose hands AJ Styles a participation trophy. Smackdown before Backlash. Paul Heyman admits humiliation and defeat on Raw after Survivor Series. The Shield's backstory. Battleground. Dolph Ziggler tells Dean Ambrose exactly how he'll win their match on SmackDown before SummerSlam. And Finn Balor's backstory on Raw before SummerSlam. And the winner of Most Outstanding Promo / Video Package of 2016 is The Miz blowing up on Daniel Bryan on Talking Smack. Wow. 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 Wrestling is totally real, guys. Oh my god, wow.
Shit.
Where are you when wrestling became real, man? The Miz, like, I don't know what to say about The Miz this year. He has just brought his A game, his A+ game. Because think back to where he was a year ago. Like, nobody gave a single shit about The Miz. Now, everyone cares about The Miz. Like, now The Miz can go up to AJ Styles and say that you're not in my league, and we believe him.
And it all started with his promo on Talking Smack. It went from 0 to 100 in a fraction of a second, and in a way, kind of turned Talking Smack into a wrestling household name. Like, the show had always been good. It had been going on for a few weeks at that point, but this was the catalyst that truly made it must-see TV.
And just the stuff that he goes into in this promo is just brutal. Like, Daniel Bryan was on the verge of crying during a lot of this. Like, if you watch Total Divas, shut up. If you watch Total Divas, or no, Total Bellas,
Same
during
thing.
During that show, you can basically, like, the big reason that anybody would watch that amongst us is you get to see Daniel Bryan post-retirement and all the struggles through, like, he's kind of going through depression and all this, like, really heavy stuff. And, like, this promo basically was, like, you could almost see it, like, really taking its toll on Daniel Bryan. And it was a hell of a thing.
Why don't you quit and go back to the bingo halls with your indie friends?
Now, see, this is the Miz that I'm at least interested in. When he starts digging really fucking deep, when he starts throwing massive shade.
When he's throwing haymakers, one might say.
Yes. I think no. When he mentioned, like, to Renee Young, oh, everyone knows you're sleeping with Dean Ambrose. I'm like, oh shit. Okay, we're going here. All right, this is interesting. Already, you've created some investment. Now, hopefully, this does not lead up to Miz versus Daniel Bryan. I hope that's not what we're leading up to.
I hope that's what we're leading up to.
I hope so too. It serves two purposes. Daniel Bryan can put the Miz over, and Miz can take that rub and pass it off to a younger talent. And as far as Daniel Bryan goes, he finally gets his closure. He gets the closure that I think mentally he needs. He needs that one final match to put everything away. And if he doesn't get it, man, it's only going to get worse. So yeah, and not to mention Miz is arguably the safest worker in not just WWE, but perhaps the world. So if there's anybody that's going to go against him and put Bryan down for good, it's going to be him. But this promo...
Plus, they have so much history together. Like, they've been basically at each other's throats since Bryan came into the WWE. And, like, everybody wants a final match with him and, say, Samoa Joe or Shinsuke Nakamura. They would literally break their faces off.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it would be bad news bears. So, yeah, Miz versus Daniel Bryan, WrestleMania 33 for the IC title. It makes all the sense in the world.
Makes all the sense in the world. This promo really showcased Miz truly as a promo god. We've always liked his promos before, but ever from this promo forward, it has just reached a height that we never even thought possible for the man. And as such, the best promo for 2016 is The Miz against Daniel Bryan on Talking Smack.
All right. Let's pass it off to Nikki for the next one.
All righty. Now, why are we watching Raw and SmackDown? Presumably because stuff's going to pay off at the pay-per-views. And that's the big money ticket that WWE is trying to get your money with. And, well, and other promotions as well. And a lot of them have been pretty good this year, believe it or not. So let's go over our honorable mentions for best pay-per-view / special event. WWE Battleground. Ultima Lucha Dos from Lucha Underground. Wrestle Kingdom 10, New Japan. WWE Extreme Rules. The G1 Tournament Series, New Japan Pro Wrestling. WWE Survivor Series. NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 2. Total Nonstop Deletion, TNA. And the Battle of Los Angeles 2016 PWG. And your winner of Best Pay-Per-View and Special Event of 2016 is the WWE Cruiserweight Classic.
Everything we hoped for and more.
Hey, WWE, you know how your Cruiserweight division is kind of lackluster at this point? Do yourself a favor, rewatch this, and then do that.
Yes.
And then success.
Yes.
And then win.
Yes. Yes. All kinds of yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. And it's fitting because Brian did commentate this.
That's why I went with that.
The cruiser, they promised high octane action between 32 of the world's, not WWE's, but the world's best wrestlers under 205 pounds. And with the exception of maybe a match or two, it's absolutely delivered.
Like, the goal of this tournament was to get eyes on wrestlers that we would otherwise have no knowledge of. This introduced the world to so many wrestlers that are fucking awesome. Like, before this tournament started, I had no clue who Cedric Alexander was. I had no clue who Jack Gallagher was. I had only a vague idea of who Noam Dar was. Like, now I know who all these people are, and they are fucking awesome.
They really are. I mean, it really introduced most of the world to the best of people like Kota Ibushi as well. Kota Ibushi was really the main attraction, the shining star of the tournament, at least until T.J. Perkins put him down with a 3-stage knee bar.
Yeah, that fucking hurt. And on top of that, like, how many single matches came from this tournament that just like this, that just made the Cruiserweight Classic must-watch material. Every episode you had to watch because you never know which match is going to turn into a classic. Off the top of my head, Gargano versus Ciampa. Holy shit. Kota Ibushi versus literally anyone he fought. Like, pretty much all of his matches were amazing. Lesser known ones like Gallagher versus Fabian Eichner. I just love Fabian Eichner. So good. There's so many great matches from this. Like Grand Metalik versus TJ Perkins. The finals. Like, that was great too.
Any thoughts, Toon?
Well, I have always loved the Cruiserweight division. I was beyond thrilled to see it come back. I watched like pretty much all of it, and it was amazing to me because, wow, WWE is doing a wrestling tournament. No fancy schmancy, like characters or anything. It is just straight up wrestling. And they didn't need characters. They didn't need really personas because they displayed themselves as such. You could figure it out. They spoke for themselves. The wrestling created their characters. And that's what I loved seeing about it. Every match that was put in, you could tell how deep the story was. Great fucking stories in these matches. So to see it all culminate with not just the Cruiserweight championship, but now we have the division back. This is probably one of the smartest decisions WWE has done. Bringing it back. Fans have been dying for the Cruiserweight division to come back. And the Cruiserweight Classic is a fine example of how to recreate that sort of magic with the tournament. Now, let's just hope the UK tournament is just as good as this.
Oh, yeah. They're having the WWE UK tournament soon. And supposedly down the road, they're going to have the WWE Women's Tournament.
Oh, they're already lining stuff up for that. That's going to be great.
Yeah, the women's tournament I'm really looking forward to.
And, if they get some Joshi women for that, oh my God.
Oh, fuck. Okay, you put 2 Joshi women on purpose in the bracket, and you watch the blood flow like wine.
Oh, get Io Shirai and there was one other one that really caught my eye, but I can't remember it. But get Io Shirai in there. Just do it. Just do it and have good medical insurance.
To have a great special event or pay-per-view, you really have to have the best collection of matches. You don't need to necessarily have instant classics that will be remembered forever. You just need to have an all-around best package. Well, you know what? The Cruiserweight Classic has both, and as such, it wins Best Pay-Per-View / Special Event of 2016.
All right. And now we move from the best back to the worst. Wait, why do I get the worst twice?
Because your responses to the worst are the best.
That is what makes sense, yeah.
And you are provably the worst. What?
Shrek.
Sorry about that. So we have... Shut up. Okay, so now we go from the best to the worst with worst pay-per-view special events. There's been a small handful of worst events throughout this year, but I think we can all agree with the one that we picked. So here are our honorable mentions. WrestleMania 32, yes, really. WWE Roadblock, End of the Line. TNA Bound for Glory. WWE Clash of Champions. And WWE Fastlane. And the winner for worst pay-per-view special events, WWE Payback. Of course. You know what the thing that bugs me about this is that for the first time in God knows however, I decided, hey, there's a WWE event in Chicago. Let's go to it. Let's have a great time. And why? Why, of all my fucking luck, did I have to pick the worst pay-per-view this year? Are you fucking kidding me?
Hey, be lucky you get 2 events a year. Me up here, we're lucky to get 1.
Oh, you poor baboos. Let me tell you about how we get maybe 1 house show per year. If we're lucky, if we're being extra good this year.
Which I don't understand. You don't live very far from New Orleans or Baton Rouge, so...
It's 3-hour drive.
That's not very long.
My car is not good.
Then fly.
I'm poor. If I could just shell out money for plane tickets, do you think I'd be running with this shit computer I got going here?
Fair enough. Okay, so back to Payback. The biggest reason why we chose Payback as the worst pay-per-view or special event is because there's nothing at all worth a damn about this pay-per-view. WrestleMania 32, it had the ladder match. Fastlane, the main event was very good. Roadblock, End of the Line,
the tag titles.
The tag title match was fantastic with a very clever ending. Clash of Champions, I don't really remember anything, but I know for a fact that it had at least a 4-star match in it. So even then it doesn't win, but Payback had nothing.
You want to know how bad this is? You want to know how you start off a pay-per-view? By Enzo Amore nearly fucking dying.
Wow, that was legit really
that
scary.
That killed the mood for almost the rest of the night.
Yeah, because we especially with the way that they announced it at on the pay-per-view, the viewing audience at home probably thought that Enzo was in a coma. That's the way that they were describing this. It was bad news.
Yeah. The only other matches I think that were at least good-ish, maybe, would be possibly Ambrose versus Jericho, maybe Miz versus Cesaro, and maybe Owens versus Zayn, but really that's
It's
it.
all
versus
maybes.
Okay, well,
Yeah, and Owens versus Zayn ended up getting vastly outdone by their match at Battleground.
But yeah,
exactly.
vastly is an
Miz
understatement.
And Ms. Cesaro got overstated by the four-way match at Extreme Rules.
I'll just say this.
And you know what? AJ versus Roman, the main event, got overshadowed by AJ versus Roman at Extreme Rules. Every match here that's worth a damn at all got overshadowed by a match that was either similar or a rematch that happened at most 2 or 3 months into the future.
The only exception to that is Ambrose versus Jericho, because as we all know, the sequel to that match was the Ambrose Asylum.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and
the great thing though, being there live, hearing everyone boo the fuck out of Roman Reigns was such a mood cleanser. It really was.
Yep. Me and Calkos can say the same thing about Hell in a Cell.
Yep. However, there were a few trolls in front of us that were purposefully cheering Roman because, well, they wanted to go against the grain because they were assholes. Hey, remember that guy that was in front of my friend Rich that kept saying he was fucking bored for the entire goddamn 3 hours?
He slept at one point.
Dude, jackass, you paid $110 for your ticket. Now leave if you don't like it. Wow, no, that guy pissed us off. All right, and I'm actually very, very, very surprised that Rich just didn't deck him because the guy's 6'3" and doesn't take shit from anyone. But
dude looks like a lumberjack.
Oh no, dude, he was even wearing the red flannel. Remember that?
Yeah,
that's Rich, man. I'm glad you got to meet him. So, regardless, though, WWE Payback...
maniac.
Yeah. WWE Payback, it was the only event this year that wasn't worth a damn in any way, shape, or form. I'm very sorry, Toonkritic, but it wins Worst Pay-Per-View / Special Event of 2016.
Oh, just wait.
At least you're lucky in the regard that you got to go to see it live, and live show or going to a show live is always better than than watching it on the pay-per-view.
Oh yeah, it is. Here's the good thing. I'll say the pluses about it. Like it was great to like be there to see like, you know, Enzo and Cass and Cesaro and Dean Ambrose and AJ Styles and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn
Jericho.
and Ziggler and Jericho. Like that was great because here's the thing. The last pay-per-view that I had gone to was WrestleMania 22, and maybe a few house shows like in between.
You were at Money in the Bank 2011.
Yeah, I was about to say,
yes, that's right, Money in the Bank. Right, I remember that. Okay, but other than that, like I didn't get to see like some of like my upcoming favorites, like Ambrose, who was like my number one favorite. Seeing that was like amazing for me. So it was a terrible pay-per-view, but at least it was a good experience. So. Anyway, I'm going to pass it back to Calkos.
Excellent. Okay, so this is actually a category that we did not include in last year's best of, mostly because this one is going to be done in 2 parts, and we didn't really have time for it, and also because there wasn't a lot of really impactful moments, at least emotionally. Well, this year there were plenty. Wrestling can make us laugh. Wrestling can make us feel tons of shock. It can make us angry. But one thing wrestling doesn't tend to do a lot is make us cry. But you know what? This year there were plenty of moments that just made us bawl our eyes out. And we are here to name the best of the best. Here is our honorable mentions for most emotional moment of 2016. Sasha Banks wins the women's title on the Raw after Battleground. TJ Perkins' Cruiserweight Classic victory speech. Rich Swann's speech after winning the Cruiserweight title. Your title, my career. Goldberg's humble return to Raw. The original Fight Forever! And our winner for most emotional moment of 2016, oh, I'm going to tear up just talking about this, Daniel Bryan's retirement speech. Wow. Okay, so he announces this on Twitter, and I wasn't too shocked. It was the moment that I was dreading, and when he announced it on Twitter, I was like, damn, fuck. But then it said on Twitter, I'm going to announce it on Raw that night, and I'm like, fuck, that soon? God, you got to give me a little bit of time to prepare. But I watched Raw, I watched it all the way through, and then it goes to, it's 10:50 at night over here, so I'm like, man, this thing's gonna run a little overtime. Daniel Bryan's coming out now, he's only gonna get like maybe a 10-minute speech. No, Vince motherfucking McMahon, the goddamn hero that he is, talked to USA Network, which I think we learned on WWE's 24 special about this. He talked to USA and USA gave him like upwards of a half hour of overtime. They didn't use it all. They used about 20 to 25 minutes, but it was the first time I was truly glad to have Raw go past 3 hours.
And like so much of that stuff was like, whenever he does his tope suicidas, like he feels like Superman. Like for the last couple of months of his career, we were like, oh God, I don't want to watch him do topes anymore. But seeing him say that, it was just like, oh, he really likes doing those. Oh, now I feel retroactively bad.
Yeah, man, those suicide dives, it was a signature for a reason. He liked to do them. It always made him feel like a superhero. And he's talking about his dad when standing there during the championship ceremony when Seattle just wouldn't fucking shut up back in December of 2013 before TLC. He was talking about him winning at WrestleMania. He was talking about the concussion issues. He was talking about the injuries that he faced, and he was talking about the things that he did. And I was able to keep it together throughout all of it, which is good because I wanted to listen to the whole thing. But after Raw turned off, I could feel it coming, and I told you guys I need a moment. And at that point, I broke, man. The dam just broke, and I just started sobbing for 2 minutes. And I didn't know this, but my roommate was actually behind me, watching me cry. And there was a moment, a little lull in the silence when I was starting to calm my shit. And she was just like, you want to go out for a smoke? And I turned to her and went, yeah!
I just let it flow. Like 5 minutes in, I already started feeling it coming down, and I was just like, I'm just going to let it go, because otherwise I'm going to be a mess. And Calkos basically showed what would have happened if I would have just held it in like a badass, but no, I just let it go.
You guys need to understand, both you two and everyone in the audience, without Daniel Bryan, I would not be here. I would not be here casting, I would not be here watching wrestling if it weren't for this man. And the more that I think about it, the more that I rewatch his classic matches against The Shield, against Triple H, against just fucking everybody. His incredible run with Team Hell No. His great run with the World Heavyweight Championship after cashing in Money in the Bank. Even the fucking moment where he loses to Sheamus in 18 fucking seconds or however long it was. Like, looking back at his run, I really do believe that Daniel Bryan has surpassed Eddie Guerrero as my personal favorite wrestler of all time. The guy's work in Ring of Honor is fucking amazing. The guy's work, even when he was just starting out, was fucking amazing. There's a reason why the Best Technical Wrestler Award is called the Bryan Danielson Award. It's because the man has won it more times than anybody else. He won it 9 years running. The guy's work in the ring is unparalleled by just about everybody, and to see him retire in such a sudden fashion without ever having the closure that he really needed is heartbreaking, not just to us fans, but also to him and his spouse, Brie Bella, his significant other. And with all this combined, there is no fucking question that Daniel Bryan's retirement speech wins most emotional moment of 2016.
Daniel Bryan is the goddamn legend. He is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. I see why you love him so much, Calkos. He put on amazing matches every single time he stepped into the ring. I don't think there's been a dud with him the way that he's gone about everything. And this man deserves a fucking Hall of Fame spot at this point with everything that he's done, not just in WWE, but everywhere else that he's been.
We're going to have to wait about 10 years for that, but...
Oh, I don't think we will. I think he'll get in pretty quick.
No, the rule is that you had to have been wrestling for 25 years minimum, so we'll have to wait about 10 years.
Wow.
This is why The Rock isn't in the Hall of Fame yet.
Well,
Yeah, Edge
that's
won
also
one.
because he just had a match at WrestleMania.
No. You had to have been in the business. And The Rock has his first time wrestling was in 1996 at Survivor Series, and which means we'll have to wait until 2021 for him to be inducted.
What about Edge?
Edge is an exception because no, Edge is not an exception because he started wrestling in the early 90s.
Okay.
Like,
All
yeah,
right.
your independent career does count as well.
Okay. All right. That makes sense then. Okay. Never mind. Nikki, carry it on.
Wait, no, that can't be true because Trish Stratus.
I guess
She
there are
just
some
got into the
exceptions.
industry when she started.
She's a women's. Move on.
She's a women's.
So 2016 has been an incredible year in the ring. Like, so many people have stepped up their game, and as a result, like, the most improved category was a real shootout right up until the very end. Like, there was a few people who could have taken this, but in the end, here are our honorable mentions for most improved wrestler of 2016. No Way Jose, Marty Scurll, Naomi, JBL, Eric Rowan, Zack Sabre Jr., Ty Dillinger, Ember Moon, Braun Strowman, Joey Ryan, and the Young Bucks. And your winner of Most Improved Wrestler of 2016 is The Miz! Toon, want to talk about The Miz a little bit?
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Toon, not even you can deny that The Miz has had the single best in-ring year he has ever had.
I will say yes. Okay. I'm not going to be a dick and say no because I will be fair.
You know what? And the way he's ended up doing it is really simple. He's just been more Daniel Bryan.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I would not be surprised if Daniel Bryan's been mentoring him backstage.
Like, he's basically taking a lot of his moves. He's taking the Romero special. He did the knee plus a few weeks ago. Like, Daniel Bryan has passed off a lot of his moves to The Miz, which is weird considering such a styles clash between the two. But yeah.
Miz has improved. I will no doubt say that he has. He has actually stepped up his game. Only recently has he actually stepped up his game when it came to being put under so much pressure. This is good because the reason I haven't been interested or invested in Miz is because he's there. He's just being an asshole. Like, oh, okay, it's Miz, whatever. I don't care. Move on. But when he was put under pressure, when he is put into like his feud with Dolph Ziggler, and then carrying on from that, he's actually stepped up his game. He's actually putting in more than just his pinky. Like all the energy he has in this pinky, no, he's using the whole goddamn hand now, which is good because there is potential with The Miz. I understand that. He's been here for quite a long time. He's had a pretty rough start. He's gone his way up. He has been the most improved, only up until recently.
Only up until recently?
I don't think he really was doing much in the beginning of the year.
You know what? That's fair. Like, the thing that really broke him out was his Talking Smack promo. Because if you look back to the early part of the year, like from when he won the title the night after Mania to SummerSlam, not a whole lot of great stuff happened. The one great thing that you could point to was his Fatal 4-Way match. Because other than that, you had the dud of a match against Apollo Crews at SummerSlam, the baffling match against Darren Young at Battleground, and he took Money in the Bank off.
But it's not even just his in-ring work, though. My God, the guy's always been a good promo. He's always had a good gimmick. But this year, he's even improved in promo. What the fuck?
That's good, though. I honestly, he has shown that he can do a lot with promos. Like, there is no denying that. In my opinion, he's a better promo guy than a wrestler. But he's shown that he can actually do a little bit more wrestling here, too. So,
agreed.
I would say The Miz wins most improved in the fact that for some people, it's not how long it takes it. It's how the time is used.
That sounds like a way to a euphemism for a small penis.
Wrecked.
Why'd you got to put it like that? Come on.
Because I'm that kind of guy. That's
Why
none
you
of my
gotta
business.
ruin it? God damn it.
And here's the thing. I think for the biggest reason why The Miz wins is because for the first time, I look forward to each and every one of his pay-per-view matches. Mm-hmm. For the first time, like, they announce a pay-per-view match, I am there. I am down to clown, man.
Yeah, like ever since his match at SummerSlam, he has had such a good run. Like his match against Dolph Ziggler at Backlash was good. His match at No Mercy was fucking great, and arguably should have been a 5-star match. His match at Survivor Series against Sami Zayn, that was a good match. And then the most recent one, or the ladder match at TLC, was a pretty good match as well. Like there hasn't been a dud yet since the brand split. Or since SummerSlam. So yeah, in that regard, Miz is doing great.
I think we could all agree, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, but you know what? I'm
boy.
happy. I'm happy for the man. I really am. But The Miz, Toon, wins most improved of 2016.
I can feel the salt from here.
The funny thing about Miz is that as much as I fucking hate him, he is one of my biggest dickish inspirations, though. Like, he and Jericho are two of the guys that I draw my dickishness from.
I feel like that's where cartoons came from.
Yeah, it is. It honestly is. As much as I fucking hate is, a lot of that goes into cartoons. It's like, well, at least, I hate him for a good reason. Here's the thing. You love to hate him. That's what I realize at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, now we come to, this is going to be a good one. Biggest shocker. 2016 has had a lot of shocking moments, whether it's in WWE, Lucha Underground, New Japan, Ring of Honor, all over the place. But here we're going to talk about what shocked us the most. And here are honorable mentions. Kenny Omega becomes the first Gaijin to win the G1 tournament series. The Royal Rumble didn't suck this year. Daniel Bryan announces his retirement on Twitter. Broken Matt Hardy and Brother Nero, go to Ring of Honor. Billy Corgan, lead singer for the Smashing Pumpkins, purchases TNA, then sues the shit out of Dixie Carter, then decides not to purchase it. I wish I wasn't making that up.
I wish he bought it so much.
AJ Styles wins the WWE World Championship 8 months after his debut. PWG gains their first 5-star match from Dave Meltzer. WWE poaches New Japan Pro Wrestling and nabs 4 of their biggest stars. And Zack Ryder wins the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania. And your winner of Biggest Shocker of 2016 goes to WWE reviving the brand split.
So when I used to work at TJ Maxx, I had a friend who watched wrestling, and he was a big mark. Like he would refer to places like NJPW and PWG as the little leagues, like big mark. But for about a year, from spring of 2015 all the way to fucking spring of 2016, he kept saying they're gonna revive the brand split. They're gonna revive the brand split. They're gonna do it again. They're gonna do it again. And I would shoot him down, saying, "Remember what happened last time? All right, remember what happened?" And I can't believe he was right. I honestly cannot fucking believe he was right. When I saw that on Squared Circle, the subreddit, my jaw dropped. I couldn't fucking believe it.
Like, okay, so we are now about 5 months removed?
6.
Give or take.
Okay, 6. Success or failure?
Success. Wow.
Absolutely.
Holy shit, the brand split has done wonders for the company because, you know what? it used to be that you'd have to cross your fingers and hold out hope that at least Raw, maybe SmackDown would be good. But it doesn't matter anymore, because if Raw isn't good, SmackDown is. If SmackDown isn't good, which is admittedly more rare, then Raw is good. Every single week, one of the two has been good. And I think that is the brand split's biggest strength.
If I may add on to that, not just that, but when you had everybody just sharing the same roster, everybody was jockeying for position to try and figure out, okay, this guy's going to be here, this guy's fighting for this, oh, we don't have time for you, oh, we can't use you. Now, it's just about evenly spread. And this is great because this gives some superstars who have been fighting and clamoring their way up, just saying, hey, give me a chance. This gives other wrestlers chances to shine.
The biggest reason why the brand split is such a big shocker is because we remember the history, okay? We remember that the brand split was rather good from the beginning because Raw was faltering in 2002, 2003, while SmackDown was doing an unbelievable job. And while it's kind of similar now, back then, it really caused a lot of reason to stifle SmackDown so that way Raw would be able to rise and shine. And for a very, 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 very long time, from about 2006 to when the brand split ended in summer of 2011, SmackDown was shit. It was awful. And Raw was not much better. But
yeah.
And then... So we remember that. We remember that the brand split in the long run did absolutely nothing. But it seems like now they've learned their lesson and they're able to do the brand split properly. It's not just one show that's getting a push. Everything is getting a push. All of the wrestlers are getting a push.
Yeah, and this has basically helped bring a lot of wrestlers back into prominence who otherwise really would not have had that much of a place. Like pre-brand split, do you think Heath Slater was going to be that big of a deal?
Let alone tag team champion?
Yeah, like the dude was the leader of the Social Outcasts.
Yeah.
Like since the brand split, he's really turned it on, along with Rhino. Who else has really stepped up their game?
Kevin Owens has stepped up. Chris Jericho has had the run of his fucking life.
Chris Jericho is living the fucking dream right now.
All right, AJ Styles. Do you honestly think AJ Styles would be champion right now without the brand split?
No,
probably not.
You think Dean Ambrose would be able to? Do you think Becky Lynch would be the face of the fucking SmackDown women's division?
No, not at all. It would still be Charlotte.
Not only that, but but not only that, but of one of the big faces of SmackDown. There was recently a truck of the SmackDown crew, and Becky Lynch was front and center, in front of AJ, in front of Dean, in front of Cena.
Yeah, no, Cena now with his SmackDown prominence, man, he's been using this brand split as a way to elevate the SmackDown roster, increasing his work rate even better than it was in 2015, despite not even being around for a lot of the year. Man, his time management has been amazing. Randy Orton joining with the Wyatts has been unbelievable, and Raw has even had a chance to shine, with Kevin Owens being Universal Champion. Like, with a lot of... Wow, God, there's a lot we can talk about the brand split, but I think the point is we never really thought it would happen. Any closing arguments for you two?
I wouldn't say that, I'm trying to think. I don't understand why people think that this is a flop, and I certainly don't see why the brand split should change or anything. The way that we're going right now, heading into WrestleMania, at least let's give it another year or so, because right now we're settling into how the faces of each division should look like on SmackDown and Raw. We have a solid division now that we're just building up. We wouldn't think that the SmackDown tag team division or the Raw tag team division would be doing good. But hey, with another draft coming up, possibly after WrestleMania, let's shake it up again. Let's have some fun with it. There's a reason that this brand split worked for such a long time.
Yeah, no kidding. We never thought it would happen, but it has. And in a way, in a second kind of shocker relating to the first one, it has been amazing so far, and I hope it doesn't end anytime soon. WWE reviving the brand split absolutely wins. Biggest shocker of 2016.
Did you ever think, though, that, like, with SmackDown going live, you'd actually have a reason to not skip SmackDown?
No kidding. All right, moving on to our final category for part 1. It is Match of the Year 2016. We've mentioned it many times. You know this already, but 2016 in ring has been one of the greatest that we have seen in a very, very long time. We have had match after match of excellence. If one promotion is floundering for even just a millisecond, another one steps right up and gives us another Match of the Year candidate. Everybody has been firing on all cylinders to bring the best of the best of the best. And this year, it was very, very difficult to narrow this down. Chances are, your favorite match did not make our cut for Match of the Year. Hell, your favorite match may not have even made the honorable mentions list. But that just goes to show how contested it was this year. So without further ado, I will present the honorable mentions for Match of the Year 2016. Ricochet versus Will Ospreay, Best of the Super Juniors, New Japan Pro Wrestling. The Young Bucks versus Matt Sydal and Ricochet, All-Star Weekend 12, PWG. Cesaro versus Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens versus The Miz, WWE Extreme Rules. Prince Puma versus Rey Mysterio, Ultima Lucha 2. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura at Wrestle Kingdom 10. John Cena versus AJ Styles at WWE SummerSlam. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn at WWE Battleground. The Revival versus Ciampa and Gargano, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 2. AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose, WWE TLC. Kenny Omega versus Hiroshi Tanahashi, The New Beginning in Niigata, NJPW. Kota Ibushi versus Cedric Alexander, WWE Cruiserweight Classic. Phoenix versus King Cuerno, Last Luchador Standing at Lucha Underground. Team Raw versus Team SmackDown, Men's Division, WWE Survivor Series. Tetsuya Naito versus Kenny Omega, G1 Climax Day 26, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles at WWE Extreme Rules. Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz at WWE No Mercy. Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Kazuchika Okada at Wrestle Kingdom 10. Dean Ambrose versus Triple H at WWE Roadblock. Aztec Warfare 2 on Lucha Underground. And Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura at NXT TakeOver Dallas. And your winner for Match of the Year 2016 is a 3-way tie.
Oh, yeah.
We couldn't decide.
We could not. We couldn't do it. We could not pick on a favorite. Every single time one of us suggested a match, someone else would shoot it down. It doesn't matter what it was. So, we decided to pick our three. Each of us picked our favorite match, excluding the matches from our favorite matches of the year of 2016 first half, because we already talked about that. And
yeah, we don't need to go over those again. Why would we do that? That was silly.
Yeah, Toon. You were so upset that you couldn't pick Mysterio versus Puma.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
So, again, the battles have been raging between us, so we just couldn't do it. So, each of us are going to take 2 minutes to talk about our absolute favorite match. Did you fucking reverse the order, Nicky?
I didn't touch it. No, I didn't do anything.
I didn't do it.
Was when I looked
Sorry, I'm accusing people of foul play. So, yes, each of us are going to take 2 minutes to explain why the match they pick is their absolute favorite match of 2016. Number 1, we're going to go with Toon's favorite match. Now is the time to start drawing lots on what we picked.
All right, so we start now. All right. So my pick for match of the year is TJ Perkins versus Kota Ibushi in the finals of the WWE Cruiserweight Classic on the last episode. The last episode has so much going on for it. And this is, I think, where you get to see TJ Perkins really, really shine. I think the way that he goes about this against Kota Ibushi, there's so much on the line for it. There's no definitive face or heel thing going into this. Kota Ibushi is a fucking bruiser. He knows how to control the match. The way that this helps in the end cement TJ Perkins. There's so many moments where you think, oh God, that's it. This is it. It's over. Or, oh my God, I hope that wasn't like a botch or anything. It is so smooth, like fucking butter. Everything in this match works out in the end, and you get to see Perkins go on to win the title from on this match. This match in particular, though, this cements TJ Perkins in my mind as like my favorite cruiserweight. This guy is a goddamn legend in the making, and Kota Ibushi is just as good, if not better, later on down the line. So that's why I think this is the best match.
All right, I guess I am next, number 2. The match that I picked for Match of the Year 2016 is Will Ospreay, Matt Sydal, and Ricochet versus the Young Bucks and Adam Cole at Battle of Los Angeles 2016 at PWG. Okay, if you have not seen this match, you need to know this going into it. This is not a serious competition. There is no serious plotline going into this. There is no serious feud. This match is just a 23-minute party. It is a party about celebrating wrestling, and I love it. Everything from the ludicrous high-flying spots, like fucking Matt Sydal can hit a shooting star press like no other, to the fucking stupid shit, like, I think it was Matt Jackson going over to Dave Meltzer. You can't really see it on camera, but he goes over to him, and then he comes back and faces the camera and goes, I just kissed Dave Meltzer! Oh my God. And then fucking, there's a spot where Adam Cole has Will Ospreay in a hold, and he raises his head, so that way the Young Bucks can kiss him on the cheek, because that's what they do. And Will Ospreay gets himself out of the hold, lower Adam Cole's head, so Matt and Nick Jackson end up kissing each other, and the announcer's like, oh, that's incest! That's illegal! And then the fucking ending sequence with Adam Cole countering the Hurricane Rana from Ricochet, going into an Indie Taker or a Meltzer driver coming from Nick Jackson. And then all of a sudden, Will Ospreay comes out on the springboard cutter and just counters everything. Crowd goes wild. And then Ricochet reverses the tombstone hold. And then all of a sudden, Matt Sydal does the shooting star press into the Indie Taker, and it was fucking awesome. And then all of them do their high-flying spots. Wow. This match is not serious. It is just plain fun, and I would not have it any other way. These guys are amazing, this match is amazing, and it is why I pick it as best match of 2016.
All right, so I get my choice now, and my pick for best match of the year was DIY versus the Revival at NXT TakeOver Toronto. I am a sucker for a good sequel in wrestling. Like, earlier in the year, I had Mac versus Cage from Ultima Luchados as one of my favorites of the year, because it was an absolutely perfect follow-up to their first match at Ultima Lucha Uno. That is just part of the reason why I loved DIY versus the Revival. Part of it is the fact that the Revival is such a great, detestable heel. Everything they do nothing to try and be popular. Everything they do is to be a dick. And DIY, like both Gargano and Ciampa, have so many moves in their arsenal, so many high-flying, smash-mouth moves that anytime this could be the finish. And they countered the spot that caused Gargano to tap out in Brooklyn, and they countered that beautifully, and the finishing sequence, man, was just perfect. When Gargano put, I believe it was Dash Wilder in the Gargano escape, and Ciampa, or Wilder came in to try, or Dawson came in to try and make the save, but Ciampa came in and hit him with the big armbar, and it looks like they're about to tap out, and they're literally holding each other's hands in order to keep the other person from tapping out. And finally, they both tap at the same time. Crowd goes fucking nuts. And the Revival have finally lost their titles. Gargano and Ciampa are the NXT Tag Team Champions, and it's such a good moment. There was so many moments in that match where I thought, you fucking bastards, DIY or Revival. And at the end, I was just like, yes, yes, yes. So that's why I like DIY versus the Revival from NXT TakeOver Toronto. Thank you very much.
So I guess that wraps up part 1 of the Haymakers Best and Worst of 2016 Smackdown.
Oh yeah, there's going to be a part 2.
Yes.
There's going to be a part 2.
This was too big for just one episode, so please give us a like and let us know your thoughts in the comments, positive or negative, and make sure you stay tuned for the next edition of the Best and Worst of 2016.
And remember, it's okay to have wrong opinions. Yours are just wrong, and we are right.
Because we have a podcast and you don't. Fuck you.
Rawcast.
Yeah, we're better than you fuckers.
I love how the best ongoing storyline of the year is me constantly taking tiny shots at Raw every chance I can get. Cheers,
Nikki
bitches.
wins best storyline of 20. No, you don't. No, you do not.
Damn it.
Hey, Raw, we get things more done in 2 hours than y'all can do in 3.
Stay tuned for part 2, everybody. Good night.